With this WrestleTalk news, Becky Lynch turning heel, Adam Cole finished, WWE 2K Heat, Tempest's review of NXT Takeover and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news, and if you love Gorg,
support WrestleTalk!
At Saturday's SummerSlam, Becky Lynch made her WWE return after over a year out from the company, and in typical WWE style, they missed that open goal about 6 feet from the basket, sports metaphor. They booked her to squash Bianca Belair in 2 moves to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, which outraged fans so much the word terrible started trending on Twitter for wrestling, and Nikki Bella openly hated on it in the post-show media. Lynch was actually a replacement for Sasha Banks, who WWE reportedly knew wouldn't make the show 8 days ago, but continued to advertise her for the event. WWE had only previously given the reason as unforeseen circumstances for her absence, while Fightful have now added Banks is not currently cleared to compete, but officials are hopeful she'll be back soon. PW Insider is reporting it is not believed to be an injury issue. But despite that, Banks was still scheduled to be on Friday's episode of SmackDown, to the extent where creative had to rewrite her segments on the day of the show. Lynch, meanwhile, was already planned to visit backstage at SummerSlam, as she has been for most of the pay-per-views this year. When it became clear Banks wouldn't be able to compete, WWE decided to add Lynch to the SmackDown Women's Championship match and have her win the title. PW Insider writes this was 100% Vince McMahon's call as a way to pop the fans. Great job, Vince! While PW Insider says Lynch was actually meant to return a few weeks from now, so her comeback was just moved up a bit, Ringside News claims she wasn't due back until October for the WWE draft, with WWE calling an audible at some point during the last week, which gave them enough time to print up the Las Vegas t-shirt designs Lynch was wearing for the show for fans to buy at the event. Lynch had been training at the Performance Center earlier this summer with Indy Hartwell to get cleared to return to the ring. Thankfully, it's implied WWE will continue to push Belair at the top of the division, unlike Kofi Kingston, who quickly fell back into the mid-card following his title loss, especially as another report calls for Becky needing some top baby faces to feud with. PW Insider is also reporting that following her SummerSlam return, Becky will be positioned as the top heel on SmackDown going forward. Sorry, Roman. Which is actually pretty smart, I guess. It doesn't justify her squashing Belair, that's heat against the company rather than heat against a character, but it certainly goes with the negative reactions Becky was starting to get in the months before she left TV last July, and explains why Lynch punched Belair from behind after shaking her hand to win the title. Although, why not just do a full heel turn at SummerSlam if that was the plan? Give her some brass knuckles to knock out Bianca behind the referee's back to help protect Belair. People aren't against Becky's return or her winning the title, it's the dismissive way Belair was beaten that's so damaging. I guess those are the kind of logic holes that come with booking things on the week of the show. What do you think of Becky as a heel moving forward, and does that change the way you feel about her squashing Belair? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to as many people as I can for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live. From out of nowhere. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Skillshare, which you can get a 1-month free trial for by clicking the link below. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for the curious. Want to become a YouTuber like me? Take up film and video. Want to produce some sick beats? Start the music classes. Want to write really good Hangman Page and Kenny Omega fan fiction? Then creative writing is for you. Spoiler, they become friends again and it's really nice. Most classes are under 60 minutes and are made up of short video lessons, meaning you can complete them in bite-sized chunks whenever you have time. Like when you're waiting for a train, when you're on the toilet, when you're bored at work, when you're on the toilet, when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, or even when you're on the toilet. And what's even better is each one gives you a class project to complete, where you can get feedback from Skillshare's community of millions. I might have been joking about the Hangman and Omega standing, or was I? But I really am in the process of writing a novel. I know, I'm a total bore. I'm 30,000 words into my second draft and I am stuck. But Skillshare recommended me the Creative Writing for All 10-Day Journaling Challenge from the author Emily Gould. To judo chop my writer's block and build up a consistent practice by focusing on just writing 10 minutes a day. That's a shoot manuscript, not a work manuscript. As Skillshare is created specifically for learning, there are always new premium classes to take on, and best of all, no ads. To inspire a summer of learning, the first 1,000 people to click our link in the video description below get a whole month free trial of Skillshare as opposed to their usual 14-day period. You can make a lot of progress on your creative goals in a month. Please do at least give the link a click to check it out, as it doesn't just help support this channel, it also could really help you explore your own creativity. Support WrestleTalk, support Skillshare, and support yourself. Becky Lynch's return wasn't the only WWE plan being brought forward though. As Dave Meltzer is reporting, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar wasn't actually meant to happen until WrestleMania 39 in 2023, which is over a year and a half away, or 23 years in COVID time. The original timeline for Roman feuds was to beat John Cena this summer, The Rock at next year's WrestleMania 38, and then the final top-knot boss, Brock Lesnar, at WrestleMania 39. The new plan is to skip to the end and have Reigns versus Lesnar at either Crown Jewel in that place or Survivor Series in New York in the next couple of months. But with all those plans being moved forward, at least one thing had to get pushed back, right? A new report from Sports Gamers Online claims the relationship between WWE and 2K Games is seriously strained, following the disastrous 2K20 and now news that 2K22 is being delayed from its October release to March next year, which was announced on SummerSlam. Apparently WWE wanted 2K22 to come out during its normal Survivor Series window, ahead of the big Christmas rush for sales, while 2K pushed for the delay, blaming WWE's mass releases this year that would have given the game the most outdated roster a game has seen. WWE and 2K Sports have apparently had multiple meetings over the future of their relationship, with WWE allegedly threatening to find another publisher. Their current deal is rumored to end in the next 2 years, and WWE has made it known, almost annoyingly so, how much this game means to the future of the franchise, where if it fails again, they won't work with 2K anymore. The report goes on to say how the development team has been understaffed and underfunded, and they're second-guessing everything because they're desperate to get it right. Welcome to working with the WWE! Completely rebuilding many game elements from the ground up after 2K20's disaster. But, and I can't believe I'm going to do this, I kind of agree with WWE here. That disaster was 2K's fault for putting out a terrible game 2 years ago. A game so bad that their longtime development partner, Use, walked out on them. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, as I'm not super knowledgeable in computer games politics, but from what I do know, 2K has terrible business practices and tries to squeeze as much profit out of their workers and customers as possible. Right, so okay, maybe WWE do deserve this. And that's not the only relationship that could be over. Segue! Baby! Following WWE President Nick Khan's interview with Ariel Helwani over the weekend, where he confirmed a complete revamp on NXT, saying everything is going to change in the next few weeks, where they want to look elsewhere for great young talent, as they've got quite enough indie-style guys on the main roster, thank you very much. Last night's NXT Takeover looks like more than just the end of an era. It's also the end of an undisputed era, as Adam Cole lost to Kyle O'Reilly. Cole's WWE contract actually expired last month, but he agreed a verbal extension until Takeover to finish his feud with O'Reilly. It's possible that his loss to Kyle could mean a main roster call-up, but Fightful Select writes that as of the morning of the show, Cole had still not signed a new contract. AEW co-executive vice presidents and Cole's Bullet Club brothers for life, the Young Bucks, have since changed their Twitter profile picture to them and Kenny Omega wearing Ghostbusters suits, with a link to a top 10 seances ever video in their bio. Possible tease that they are talking to the ghost of Adam Cole right now, after he was kayfabe killed in Being the Elite before he signed with WWE, which Cole's real-life girlfriend, AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker, has quote retweeted with a thinking emoji face. Speaking of NXT Takeover, here is Tempest's review of the show in about 5 minutes. Hey, guys, and you might want to stick around because I've got a bit of a surprise for you at the end.
Man, if Tony Khan can bring Adam Cole back from the dead, he really can do anything. What's going on, WrestleTalk friends and fans? Tempest the Wrestler is back with a review of NXT Takeover 36. In about 5 minutes. The main show opened with the $1 Million Championship match between LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. I thought this was a very enjoyable match and a fitting blow-off to their feud as both Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase managed to get some revenge on LA Knight, both locking in the $1 Million Dream at different points in the match. Grimes ultimately got the win with the cave-in and secured every millionaire's dream to have a big gold belt covered in dollar signs. The true American dream. This was a very solid opener. I'll give it 4 out of 5. Next up was the NXT Women's Championship match between Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai's hair was the most pink thing I've ever seen in my life. Pink, the singer, wishes she could be that pink. Overall, this match had a pretty good pace to it. Raquel Gonzalez tried to go for her choke bomb multiple times throughout the match, and it ultimately built to the finish where Dakota Kai tried to attack her on the top rope, but Raquel hooked her and hit the choke bomb off the top rope for the win. It seems like Dakota Kai might be heading to the main roster, so it makes sense to keep the belt on Raquel Gonzalez, but I will be interested to see what her next challenge will be, because it has been building up to being Dakota Kai for the longest time. This was another very solid match. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5 as well. Then we got the match. In a rematch of their classic bout from a year prior, Walter defended the NXT UK Championship against Ilya Dragunov. I can't help but gush about how much I love Walter. He is a perfect wrestler, and he is one of the most unique wrestlers in the entire world, not just in WWE, but the entire world. The early portions of this match were a little bit slow, but man, once they got going, they really got going. Walter hit a number of big chops, as he's known to do, and look at Ilya Dragunov's chest. It's disgusting. It's amazing. Walter went down the list of the big moves he's used to beat people in the last few years, hitting the big splash that beat Pete Dunne, the lariat that beat Tyler Bate, and the chop that beat Tommaso Ciampa, but nothing could keep Ilya Dragunov down, with Dragunov choking out Walter, winning by submission. He tapped out Walter! I've not been a fan of how they booked this feud heading into TakeOver, but for a match itself in a vacuum, this was stellar. After all that time, Walter has now been beaten. This was a 5 out of 5 match if ever there was one. This might have been the best WWE match of the year. We then got the 3 Stages of Hell match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. This match had a really weird structure. The first fall only went like 5-6 minutes, and Kyle O'Reilly won with a roll-up, which would be fine, but I didn't think they really played up winning in quick fashion quite enough like they should have. The second fall, however, was where the bulk of this match took place, as these two brawled in a street fight for about 15 minutes. This was the part of the match where Kyle O'Reilly injured his ribs sliding into the ring post, and that was basically the story of the rest of the match. Kyle wasn't even able to hit the ropes at a point, and Adam Cole was able to capitalize on this, launching him onto 2 chairs set up back to back and hitting the last shot to secure the second fall. Cole powerbombed Kyle onto the corner of the announce desk before the cage could lower around the ring, and then the cage match started and only went about 5 minutes. Adam Cole handcuffed Kyle to the ropes and super kicked him a few times before Kyle caught his foot and locked him in the knee bar using only one arm to get the submission win. Sean Ross Sapp has of course reported on Fightful Select that Adam Cole has not signed a new deal with WWE, and those over at AEW have started teasing that Adam Cole might be headed their way. If this was Adam Cole's send-off for NXT, I thought it was good, but they could have done a little bit more to get it to be truly great. This gets a 4 out of 5. It was still a very fun match. And then the main event, the NXT Championship match between Karrion Kross and the returning Samoa Joe. Scarlett once again did not come out with Karrion Kross, and I said this on the live stream. I can't believe how much of a hit his presentation has taken without Scarlett as his valet. Even in NXT, he's just a guy. It was very cool to see Samoa Joe back in the ring after a year and a half on the shelf. The work in this match was definitely not bad, but it wasn't NXT TakeOver main event levels of great either. For the amount of time they've spent building up this match with brawls and other violent interactions, I would have thought this match would have had a little bit more grit to it, but it did just kind of feel like another Karrion Kross match. A good one, but another Karrion Kross match. Ultimately, Samoa Joe was able to get the win with the Muscle Buster. Hey, that's neat. I like seeing the Muscle Buster, and become the very first 3-time NXT champion. I will reiterate that I didn't think this match was bad, it just wasn't the blow-away match that we're used to seeing in NXT TakeOver main events. I'm gonna give the main event a 3 out of 5. So overall, I thought NXT TakeOver 36 was a very enjoyable show. You're never gonna go wrong seeking out a TakeOver, and this one doesn't disappoint either. It had a legitimate match of the year contender in Walter versus Ilya Dragunov, but nothing else on this show really grabbed me to the point where I would say that it was great. Very good, yes, but great, I don't see it. Still a very good takeover. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. Just barely doesn't creep into that top tier of takeovers. And that just about wraps it up from me. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this show, you can go and watch the NXT Takeover 36 live reactions from last night and the NXT Takeover 36 live podcast that's coming later today on WrestleTalk podcast with myself and Chopper P. Quinnell. Until then, stay beautiful, y'all. Jam that jam.
It doesn't matter what I say. I've said no and no, no, no so many times that people just always kind of be like, oh, so there's a chance. And people always come and go, and they come back, and they leave, and they come back. This is where I live now. This is my headspace.
CM Punk return confirmed! 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 Undertaker to AEW confirmed! And CM Punk return! CM Punk return confirmed! CM Punk to AEW confirmed! CM Punk wrestling return confirmed! CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk to AEW double confirmed. CM Punk to AEW triple confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return 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 confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. Yes! 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 CM Punk return! It's happened! It's happened! Yes! Yes! Oh my god! CM Punk return confirmed! CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk in ring return confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. CM Punk return confirmed. CM Punk to AEW confirmed. Now, I've had a running gag on this channel for about 4 years, but regardless of who a signing story is about, I will end it on some variation of Phil Brooks' wrestling name to some wrestling promotion. Affirmative. That catchphrase will not pass these lips again until CM Punk is officially announced by All Elite Wrestling or turns up on Dynamite. CM Punk returns. CM Punk to AEW. Oh, god damn it. Whatever you think, tell me CM Punk to AEW. Oh, god damn it. CM Punk to AEW. No. Not yet. CM Punk to... Easy, Davis. Easy. CM Punk to... hold the door, Davis. Not until he's on screen. CM Punk to... No, I'm not doing it yet. CM Punk to... No. CM Punk to... hold the fist, Davis. Not until it's official. CM Punk to... No. One more day, Davis. One more day. Another day, another destiny. On this never-ending road to Calgary. These men that never know my crime, I never saw my on one day more. I didn't live until today. It's been a long week, okay?
Yes! Yes! Yeah, they've got the thing! Yes!
It's got to be MJF, right?
Oh my god! Oh my god, this crowd!
Come on.
Oh, the best in the world and everything! It's got the signs! CM Punk!
Says the name.
Oh! And it's him! It's actually him! It's actually him! Oh my god! Oh no! On his face! I honestly don't think I've ever seen you cry in my whole life. Honestly, I've never seen you cry. Ever.
Try not to.
Do you want to say it now, Ollie?
I haven't said it, have I?
No.
Oh my god.
Everyone's waiting for you to say it.
Everyone's
The
waiting.
chat is waiting for you to say it.
I don't know how to deliver it. I haven't really given it thought. CM Punk to AEW confirmed.
Yes! It's unreal! Oh my god. Oh. Guys, can we just all come on?
I'm not thrilled. I'm crying.
Come on,
For
get up,
eternity.
get up.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Seems like WWE confirmed. I don't think I've ever seen you cry before.
No,
Especially not at wrestling.
it's only a sex thing usually.
Oh man.
But honestly, right now, it's hard to avoid how dumb it feels to follow modern WWE. The fact that fans have been back for a little bit and some of WWE's worst habits have intensified rather than relaxed, it gets proper dispiriting after a while. And if you'll indulge me, I'd like to dedicate one full list into trying to examine what these habits are and how all those roads lead to one thing: WWE not really giving a hairless monkey ass about wrestling fans.